What's going on, everybody? This your boy Mike from Trouble Down Productions, and today we're going to be talking about The Walking Dead Season 7 Episode 4 called Service. Now, this review may run a little longer than some of my reviews just because there's so much shit to talk about. A bunch of shit basically looked like it was ripped straight from the comics, and I always love when they do that because it's not very often that that happens. So today I'm going to be following the episode in this volume 18, which is where we are right now in the comics. And I just kind of want to show you guys briefly some of the things that was, like I said, ripped straight from the comics in this episode. Now, as we well know, the TV's not doing the F-bomb thing. We will get that more than likely on the Blu-ray at the end of next year for Season 7. But as of right now, I want to say that in this episode, there was probably more cussing than any other Walking Dead episode I've seen yet. I could be wrong, but I do believe, they're letting him use cuss words as Negan, basically to replace the F-bomb. But I still think they're doing really good with it. Alright, so let's get right on into it. When Negan first shows up at Alexandria, I will be throwing screenshots up here as well, but he, the little pig, let me in line, straight from the comics. Also, when they asked Negan, who are you? And he said, is this a joke? I'm sure I must have made a pretty fucking strong impression. Is basically what he says in the comics. They worded it a bit different, but pretty much the same exact thing. So I thought that was pretty cool. The biggest difference in the comic, in the show, in this particular part, is that he asked them to go get Rick, or he tells them to go get Rick when he gets there, whereas in the show, Rick just kind of walks up to the gate. In the comics, as the Saviors are going through just gathering shit up from Alexandria, Negan also makes Rick hold Lucille in the comics. Now, I don't know if I have a screenshot of this, but if you can see it right there, that panel, he basically makes Rick hold it in the comics as well. So that was another pretty cool thing that they did in the show. And in the show, you heard a gunshot go off, and it was Carl who was pointing the gun at the Saviors on Sunday night. Well, in the comics, it was Denise. Again, I'm not real sure if I have a screenshot of it, but you can see it right there in that panel that, it was Denise that was pulling the gun on the Saviors, talking about, you said you were only going to take half, give it back. When Negan goes to leave Alexandria in the show Sunday night, he basically says, oh, careless of me, because Rick still had Lucille. And he's like, why would you want to keep this after what she did? That's what he told Rick. Again, straight from the comics, which is really, really awesome. The last bit of comic book material that I wanted to talk about this episode was also when he was leaving, Negan basically told him, I just slid my dick down your throat and you thanked me for it. Line for line, word for word in the show, they did it the same way right there. And that is, again, pretty fucking awesome if you ask me. A couple other things I wanted to talk to you guys about that was not from the comics. Well, kind of. At the very beginning of the episode, you seen Eugene fixing what he said was an audio device for the Saviors for when they come. I guess to listen to music. Well, recently in the comics, Eugene manufactured a radio device which he, on the other end, actually was talking to someone. I think this audio device that he's making in the show is eventually going to become that device in the comics, where he will, because he didn't give it to the Saviors unless they took it and we just didn't see it, which I think that device is going to play a very important role, so I don't think it went anywhere without them showing us. And the biggest scene in the episode, probably for a lot of people, was when Rick was talking to Michonne and dropped the big Judith bomb. Holy crap, Judith is Shane. We've been making fun of that since Shane died. Hell, ever since we found out Lori was pregnant, people have been talking about whose baby it was. And honestly, I didn't think we were ever going to know. I didn't think Kirkman was actually going to write it in such a way to where he told us whose it was. But it really seemed like, Rick knew it was Shane's baby. And I really love the Shane call out in this episode. You know, I love when we get seasons beyond a character and someone brings that character up. I feel like it's a good way to write an episode for callbacks. I always love when they do that as well. Michonne's out in the woods most of the episode trying to, I guess, perfect her shooting skills. And she messes up and hits a deer, which is a good thing, I guess. A lot of people missed it. Hell, I missed it. It was actually brought up to me. But at the very end, when Negan was saying, you know, oh, Daryl can stay, all he's got to do is say the words. Daryl blinked like a bunch of times, and a lot of people were saying that was Morse code. Also, when Michonne was out, she passed a Morse code like billboard. So I'm thinking that could be something deeper into that. A lot of people are saying that Daryl was telling Rick help. Some people are saying that Daryl was saying east, as in, you know, Negan's compound is east. So, I mean, I don't know Morse code. Now, Negan takes, in the comics, half of all of their shit when he comes. In the show, he's a bit more lenient. He actually let them keep all their food, except the deer that Michonne shot. But in turn, he burns their mattress. It takes everybody's mattresses, and then Michonne finds them burnt on the side of the road. So he's just showing them that, look, you know, we can just take your shit and we don't need it. We can just burn it. Which is fucked up, but, you know, hey, Enid's out of the closet, luckily. And the Saviors was trying to take her green balloons. If you remember, the green balloons are what her and Glenn used in, like, the dumpster scenes and stuff. So those balloons had some sentimental value for Enid, which is why she was fighting so hard to keep them. For a minute there, I thought I was going to get a little disgusted because it kind of looked like one of the Saviors was wanting to take her back, but she's kind of young, so that just would have been really awkward for TV. I'm going to give this episode a 10, just because, you know, so much comic stuff going on. The Shane callback, the Judith bomb dropped. You know, it just, a lot of stuff happened in this episode that I really enjoyed. Other than that, that's about all I got for you guys. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out my Facebook page for my Trouble Down Productions. My Dead to Zombies Facebook group is always popping. We're always doing stuff in there. I will put all them links in my YouTube video description. And other than that, love you guys. Dead to Zombies, Trouble Down Productions. You guys rock.